Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Dev Tips. Today I'm going to talk about how you can set up Visual Studio 2022 to increase your productivity. So these are the tips which can make your life easier as a developer. The very first one in the list is called colorize tabs. So for example, I have opened so many tabs in this solution and I don't know which file belongs to which project. So one way to fix that is you click on this small settings icon and you select this colorize document tabs by either project or a solution. I'm sorry, file extension. So if you do project, now all the files which are open and they are part of any single project will get the same color. Others will get the different color. So to click on this small drop down, which kind of gives you an idea about all the open files. As you can see, the files which are part of the class library got the green color and files which are part of demo web API, they all got the blue color. So that's one way to organize your tabs. Now, this is cool, but not enough. So the second one in the list, which is a second trick, which is called tab placement. So where do you want to place your tabs? So by default, we have been working with tabs in this manner. Visual Studio gives you two options. 2020 Visual Studio 2022 uh, gives you two options to do that. So very first option is called show tabs in multiple rows. Now, if you do this, as you can see, all the tabs are laid out in a horizontal layout and you get to see all of them together, right? So even though you have this drop down, you still see all the tabs. So this is really interesting trick to keep to visualize all the tabs. And again, this is good, but not the best. So let's take it further and go for the second option that Visual Studio provides. So by default, it is set to by default the tab layout is set to place these tabs on the top. Let's try place tabs on the right. Now this is really interesting feature because now all of your tabs are laid out in a horizontal fashion. Another crazy thing on top of that, which Visual Studio provides, is you can do group by project. So this is something which is not available in the horizontal layout, but it's available in the vertical layout where you can group your tabs by the project so you can understand which file you are part of, which file belongs to which project, whether you are working in a right project or not. So this makes it really easy to go to navigate through the open tabs. Now, uh, that's that's the really interesting features which I just mentioned. Let's set it back to top. So the next trick that I'm going to talk about is about four different extensions that I find it really useful and which should be part of every developer's extension list. And I'll be providing a link for each extension in the description section of this video. So first one is called add new file. Second is file path on the footer. Third is the solution color. And also the fourth one is VS color output. Let's go one by one. Start with add new file. So traditional way to add a new file into a project is do a right click to project, click on add, and then select the class, which kind of opens up the dialog box. You name your class and you click on add. So basically 3, 4 clicks, and then you get to add your class. Unless you are using ReSharper or something where you can easily add new class, but let's talk about the feature that Visual Studio provides, which is more like an out of box solution. So um, once you install that extension, add new file, if you do, if you just hit Shift F2, which kind of opens up this really nice dialog, which allows you to add new item. Interesting thing here is Mm. it not only allows us to add new empty file, but it also uh, respects the directory structure if we specify slashes in the path. So let's do services slash. I generic quiz.cs. As you can see, it created my interface. And now this is another interesting feature that Visual Studio provides, that any if you name your class that starts with I, it interprets that specific file be an interface, not the class. So I tried to add the class, but it kind of converted into interface. And this is more like an AI-powered feature of Visual Studio, which understands that anything that starts with I is mostly an interface. Of course, you can revert it back if it is not the case. But um, coming back to the extension, it kind of added the file and it also created the directory structure that we wanted to respect. So that's a really cool feature. Second extension is called file path on footer. So as you can see, any file that you open and the physical location of that file will always be available in the footer section of your IDE. So you can literally copy this and you get to understand like where that file resides on your disk. The third extension is called VS Color Output. As you can see right now, I have one solution open, and in real day-to-day scenario, we kind of have more than one solution open, and we want to understand like which solution we were working on and where we want to jump on. That's where things get tricky. Um, so one way to avoid the confusion between different solution is to add that extension called solution colors. You dear Once you do that, um, all you need to do is right click on the solution node and set solution color, set it to enable auto mode. Once you do that, it allocates the random color to your solution. Now, for some reason, I've been getting the same color to my next solution that I'm about to open. Let's see if that happens again. Oh, perfect. This did not happen this time. So yes, extension works fine. Now you get to see two different colors for two different solutions, and that way you can remember which solution you were working on. That's just another interesting thing. Um, the final extension that I want to talk about is mostly focusing on the debugging aspect of Visual Studio, where you want to build project. If you build the project, and this is how you see your output. If you use that extension, so that extension allows you to have the colored output of your output window. If everything is fine, you should see a green line stating that build succeeded. And let's say for some reason we just added an extra line here, which kind of makes it incorrect in an error state. You do right click. If you try to build it, now you get to see the error in the output window. This makes it really easy to spot the errors on a larger scale solution where you have probably 40, 50 projects in it. So these are the tips which I wanted to talk about. Um, Feel free to comment anything that you think can be improved. And if you know any other tricks which can help other developers, feel free to drop a comment. Uh, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.